I would love to have a mic. I lost my microphone attachment for my phone, but we could still use voice memos. I want to work on some studies. I watched this beautiful tutorial on how to work on your portraits and how to make them vibrant and how to not dull them out, because you don't want your portraits looking gray or not vibrant. The key to that is having some form of vibrancy in your paintings. Is that a word? Vibrancy? After watching the tutorial, I grabbed my brushes and I got started on a study which I can't stop looking at. I feel like I finally broke out of this creative block that I've had for the last few weeks and, well, months. We're gonna say months. Okay. Unfinished, but that's kind of the point of a study in my opinion. The shadows, the highlights, and guess what? The best part about it, I only used 3 colors. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 for the shadows, 1 for the midtones, and 1 for the highlight. And that's all you need as like a base layer. Step 1, find a portrait to do your study on. This is usually when I go to like Pinterest to find some form of a portrait, something that has a lot of good shadows, highlights, and stuff like that. I save a lot of them, so I don't usually have to look too hard or for too long, because when I look for too hard for too long, I get overwhelmed and frustrated. Let's get started looking for a portrait to study. I'm so sorry, I had a glitch. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm opening Pinterest now, and as you can see, I have already some portraits, and these are usually the portrait vibes that I study. I usually try to find something that's pretty easy to like draw, like the features are pretty prominent, something like maybe this, but not really. Whoa, his eyebrows. Okay, I'm gonna go into my black art inspiration posts and all the posts that I saved. Like something like this I feel like is awesome for a study because all of his features are pretty prominent. There's obvious highlights, there's obvious shadows. What else? And I was actually going through and I still am, like a full body portrait study phase where like I would love to like draw and paint full body portraits of people like sitting in like interesting positions, like, you know, whatever. I love this picture as well. I think that is super cool. So let's just choose an image. I am going to go with, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble choosing. I'm gonna go with this one just because it looks like it'll be a nice image to practice with. I don't know if you remember, but in my last video, I was ripping up a t-shirt so I can use as kind of a drop cloth / just regular cloth to clean off my brushes when I'm done using a certain color. You can only paint on your pants so much, but there's something so satisfying about being able to just wipe your brush on your shirt without thinking, you know? Anyway, let's get to painting. Hi. This is me coming from the future after I've edited everything, and I wanted to do a little voiceover and explain to you what exactly I'm doing. So in the tutorial that I watched, the person was telling the viewer to block out the main colors, which are the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. So obviously I'm starting with the shadows because I think that's easiest for me. It's easier to build lighter colors on top of darker colors rather than, you know, the other way around. So I'm going in trying to block out those main colors, starting with the shadows and then moving to the midtones, and then eventually I'll be at the highlights. But there's a problem, okay? And this is something that I have yet to realize in the video. I know now, but I'm really focused on the features. Like I'm really seriously focused on the eyes and the nose and cutting out a place for where the mouth is supposed to be. And I think that's not what you're supposed to do. I was also having a bit of trouble mixing the darkest skin tone that I see on the reference photo. For some reason, like I could not get that darkest skin tone. I was using burnt sienna and medium yellow, ultramarine blue, but I was kind of straying away from ultramarine blue because I feel like that kind of dulled out your colors. But he does kind of have more of a blue undertone, and I kind of wish I added more blue to the darkest shadow. I also wanted to make sure I was focusing on the background as well while painting the painting, because it is a part of the painting that kind of helps you sculpt the face and everything like that. From the tutorial, the guy was telling the viewer not to see the background as an afterthought. That's kind of his, like a quote from that video. I'll actually link the video in the description. But you know when you start having trouble with a painting while you're working and you start to get discouraged in the moment? That's kind of how I was feeling right now. I was trying to fix whatever was throwing me off, but I was kind of having trouble figuring out what exactly that was. So I tried to go in, darken the shadows a little bit more, but I don't know, something just wasn't doing it for me. Study number 1, a fail. Well, we're not gonna say a fail because that's pretty negative and I don't want to think negatively. Study number 1, not vibing with. I think I need music or something. Okay, so I had walked away and I had to do some things, but I came back because I really wanted to work on another study. I am moving this other study out the way and trying to open this canvas. For whatever reason, it's giving me a lot of trouble. At this point, I had went back and rewatched the tutorial because I feel like I needed a little bit of a refresher on, all of the things in the tutorial, all the tips in the tutorial. I'm giving the canvas this nice blue tint because I feel like it'll help me not be distracted when it comes to like painting skin tones. It's a nice opposite color. Trying to find a portrait to study. Alrighty, so once I found that portrait that I was going to study, I got started painting the outline of the head. That's what kind of the tutorial suggested. Start by sketching out the head, and then I started again with my darkest value and just blocked out the shadows. I kind of did this thing with my eyes where like I blurred my eyes so I didn't really see the features. Like I wasn't focused on the features, but only on the shadows that I was trying to work on. And that first part was done in a really like loose paint. Like I diluted it with terp and I kind of just like blocked out all the areas that I saw on the painting. But now I'm kind of starting with my midtones. I don't know why I did that, but I started with my midtones, kind of just getting the color on there. And after that, I think I went in with my darker colors. Usually I start with dark first, but for some reason, I just chose to do mid-tone first. But honestly, it didn't really do any harm. I think it actually helped me. Now I'm going in with an even lighter color and finding the more highlighted areas. And so far, so good. Honestly, I think I was doing way better than last time so far. And I'm not really as focused on features, but literally just focused on like color and like where the shadows are and where the highlights are. And literally the painting will paint itself. Like that is crazy. Maybe this time around I used a little bit more than 3 colors, but I am going in with another even lighter color, which I do think helps define where exactly like the highlights are and where the features are, like the nose, the tip of the nose, the bridge of the nose, or under the brow. And the last thing I did was took my lightest color and made it even lighter to put these little highlights on like the tip of the nose and like in any area where the light was really prominent. Okay, I was just recording a lot. Like I just talked and rambled for a second, but my mic was attached to my Beats headphones and then like you couldn't hear anything I was saying because my Beats headphones are across the room currently. So I did this study. I feel like it was way more successful than the last study I did. Her face is there. The only reason I say it's more successful is because you can tell that it's a face. The other one, it's looking a little scary. A little bit frightening. That wasn't the goal. I give the first one a 2 out of 10, 2 for effort. This one, I give like a 5 out of 10. But I'm telling you, the first one that I did, which is right here, solid 9 out of 10. And this is just me rating myself and my own artwork. I'm not talking about artwork in general. I realized that I was having so much trouble with color mixing. And this is something that I really wanted to work on. I didn't realize how much I dull out my colors. My colors can be so dull. I hate it. Anytime that I wanted to dull out or darken a color, I would add blue. Blue, 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 blue. You can't just add blue every single time and expect to have this amazing color. I didn't realize that until recently. Like, okay, I can just start out with these vibrant colors. Blue is dulling out my colors and it's making me very unsatisfied with my color mixing. Therefore, I should stop adding blue, and maybe at the end when I really do need it, that's when I'll add blue. I decided to stray as far away from blue as possible for this study, and I feel like I got way more vibrant colors. Obviously, if I wanted to dull out colors a little bit more, I can easily go back and do that. Once you dull out a color, you can't really make it saturated again, you know? So I think it's better to work from like vibrancy to then dull it out if you really have to. Just like I prefer working with darker colors first and then adding my lighter colors on top, because it's easier to lighten colors, but you can't really darken colors, you know? Wondering if I should do another study. No, I don't know if I feel like it. But if I do not though, thanks for watching this video on my channel. This is Kirsten Arts. I hope you enjoyed it. A failure of a study, and then I'd say a success of a study. I would love if you subscribe to my channel. My socials for my artwork is Kirsten Arts. All platforms around. Really just Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Okay, I'm done. All right, bye.